Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your home is going into foreclosure and you feel like a financial wreck. You don't know where to turn for accurate information. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne. Let's talk about some legal options. If we work quickly, we can propose a plan to save your home, modify the loan, or in many cases even eliminate your second mortgage. The consultation is free. I've helped hundreds of people just like you make informed decisions about whether to save their home or exit it on a reasonable, organized timeline. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle, and today is Seattle Rock Day, which means, we're once again celebrating Seattle's rich rock legacy. It's an awesome yearly tradition that we do. And, all day long you're going to be hearing your favorite bands, your favorite rock bands from the Pacific Northwest. And, for the second year in a row, and I hope for many years to come, we'll be working with Smash. And they're the folks that pretty much are committed to providing our musicians with proper and affordable health care.
We're doing a big fundraiser for them to raise some money. Our goal today, BJ, is $10,000, right?
Let's do it!
Right? We're currently at almost $4,400 raised so far, so the Rockaholics have been stepping up. Plus, there's some awesome auction items that are available just by going to KSW.com, from autographed guitar from Pain in the Grass Festival back in 2015, awesome skateboard, Mudhoney Big Muff skateboard, which is really cool, and my favorite one, the Pearl Jam poster signed by the entire band.
And if you want more info, you want to donate, go to KISW.com.
Let's play B-Migs.
It's time to play the game.
Yeah!
Everybody scream his name. B-Migs, don't be a loser.
Whoa!
B-Migs, you're a loser.
It is time to be Migs, and it's Thursday, so let's get cracking.
Release the Kraken.
Yeah, and everyone's wearing their different Kraken gear, but it's also Seattle Rock Day.
Damn straight.
So I needed to make sure I got my Kraken beanie that I've been wearing. It's a little too hot right now, but I've been repping some Seattle music stuff with, I've got the Stone Evergreen Travelers hoodie.
Nice.
It's very comfortable.
Shout out to Misha and the crew.
Absolutely. She kicks so much butt on the fiddle. And then also I got the Ventures, the old school surf rock guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a little bit of love on that. Let's get to our contestant today. We got Scott in Seattle. Scott, are you there?
I am.
Excellent. All right, Steve, get out of here.
Goodbye.
For those playing at home, Scott will have 60 seconds to answer 10 questions. Scott, you can pass all you want, but you will only get 3 guesses per question. Are you ready?
Ready.
The Jimi Hendrix Experience was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in what early 90s year?
91, 92, 93.
92, yes. William Duvall is the current lead vocalist for what band?
Pass.
What term was coined for the Seattle scene in a review of a Green River EP?
Grunge.
Yes. Which local record label got its start in the early 80s as a fanzine?
Sub Pop.
Yes. The Showbox, located at Pike Place, opened in what decade?
40s?
No.
30s.
Yes. What band had the early 90s hit songs Hunger Strike and Say Hello to Heaven?
Temple of the Dog.
Yes. Dreamboat Annie was the debut album for what band?
Heart.
Yes. According to reports, what relation was the Pearl and Pearl Jam's name to Eddie Vedder?
His grandma?
No.
His pass.
What role does Kevin Martin have in Candlebox?
Guitarist.
No.
Drummer.
No.
Singer.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 correct.
All right, not a bad deal. Not a bad deal at all.
Not a bad deal, but I mean, this is kind of
Won't
Steve's.
be 9.
It's Steve's wheelhouse on this. He might not get a perfect 10, but he might quite possibly win.
Okay, well, there you go.
Well, I mean, just judging on, how much Steve loves Seattle music and how he did earlier today.
So you're saying there's no chance for Scotty?
I can't say there's no chance. I mean, we've had Steve get hit in the back with a chair while Beat Migs has been happening.
True.
Crazy things happen during this game, so I can never say there's no chance.
There's some chance.
There's a tiny chance. Okay, Steve, are you ready?
Release the Kraken.
The Jimi Hendrix Experience was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in what early 90s year?
What?
The Jimi Hendrix Experience was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in what early 90s year?
91.
No.
92.
Yes. William Duvall is the current lead vocalist.
Alice in Chains.
Yes. What term was coined for the Seattle scene in a review of a Green River EP?
Grunge.
Yes. What local record label got its start in the early 80s as a fanzine?
Oh, Sub Pop.
Yes. The Showbox located at Pike Place opened in what decade?
The 30s.
Yes. What band had the early 90s hit songs Hunger Strike and Say Hello to Heaven?
Temple of the Dog.
Yes. Dreamboat Annie was the debut album for what band?
Heart.
Yes. According to reports, what relation was the Pearl in Pearl Jam's name to Eddie Vedder?
Wasn't the story that it's his grandma?
No.
Ann.
No.
Great grandma.
Yes. What role does Kevin Martin have in Candlebox?
He is the singer.
Yes. What year of the early 80s did the band Queensryche form?
81.
No.
80.
Yes. And Steve, there we go. The perfect 10 and the win.
Sorry, Scotty.
Yeah, sorry, Scott.
Bow down.
Bow down indeed.
There we go. Thanks, buddy. Perfect 10 song. Yep.
You should have stuck with it. You should have said he had no chance of beating Steve, but you wouldn't stick with it.
I couldn't.
Well, you should have.
Well,
because I knew Steve was. I knew Steve was going to do it. I knew he was going to go 10 for 10 on that one.
Damn.
I knew he would do really well, but also I got really nervous when I had to repeat the first question because it's a longer question.
I know. I was a little thrown off by it. I had to shut it down then after that.
Well, you did, and congratulations on that perfect 10.
Good job, Steve.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well, today is Seattle Rock Day, and of course, we're looking for your stories. What do you love about the Seattle music scene? What was your favorite memory? 206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999. And recently, we chatted with Mike McCready at Pearl Jam, and he shared a great story about the first time that he heard their song alive on KISW.
Yeah, I mean, it was right around 91, and it was probably around the time we played, and I'm pretty sure KSW put it out, we played at the Seattle Center at the Mural Amphitheater, and it was before a record release party, and driving around and, hearing Alive on the radio for the first time, it was a dream come true, and it just wasn't, one of those things where you pull over to the side and just go, whew.
Yeah.
All these years I've been trying to do this, and we're finally here, and it's a huge honor, and it was one of the most exciting times of my life to hear us on KSW for sure, and still is. I'm still excited about it.
We're getting a lot of text messages about Pearl Jam, which is cool, man. It's cool to hear Mike just talking about hearing his band for the first time.
That was a fun interview that we did with him for our 50th anniversary. Is that available anywhere still on KISW.com?
Yeah, I believe if you go to the KSW 50 section, the 50th anniversary section of all the interviews are somewhere over there.
If you didn't hear that, that was such a great interview. He's such a great dude, and what a career, and still, not even, he's aware but not aware, know, and it's wonderful that he still has those memories of playing that girl's party when he was a teenager, young kid, and remembering hearing his record on KISW for the first time, because, that was huge, because KISW was a huge rock station, and everybody had the dream that it was playing music in this town. Man, it'd be great if we could get on the rock. That would be awesome.
Well, to make you feel old, if I think about those days, back in those days, there was no, streaming services or web, there was no websites, there was no internet. So you didn't have any other way for your music to be heard by a large number of people other than through the radio. So to get that opportunity, especially a young kid growing up listening to the station, now all of a sudden his music's being played on the station, had to be super surreal.
Yeah, you're right, Steve, because the only bands that really got to be played a lot on radio were the really super successful bands, and you hope someday that could be you, and then there it was.
I was going to share a story about Pearl Jam that I totally remember the shows. Pearl Jam over at Memorial Stadium back in 1998. Sean Lennon and also the Wallflowers opened up for them, and Eddie introduced them as the Wall Effers. I just graduated high school, and this was the first concert I ever went to with my friends from Eric. Wall Effers.
Wow.
Dude, I think that was the show because they played at Memorial Stadium where they were performing live, and some guy climbed up to the top of the soundboard rafters. They had like this big, just set up over by the soundboard, like the lighting rig and all that stuff, an outdoor show at Memorial Stadium in Queen Anne. And the guy, he climbed all the way to the top, and he was just headbanging and air guitaring during the entire song. So at some point, you're not even paying attention to Pearl Jam. As Pearl Jam's playing live, the majority of the crowd has their back turned to Pearl Jam watching this guy because you're like, what is he doing? And luckily nothing bad happened, but I'm sure he got kicked out of the show. But it was such an epic moment because this guy was just probably high on something, but he was feeling that music.
I don't understand how a Pearl Jam fan could ever even get the idea to climb something that was way high in the sky. Why would they do that?
No one from the band would ever do something like that, Eddie.
No, not at all. I also would love to know why the Wall Effers. You know what I mean?
It had to have been like an inside joke with them, or I would imagine a few glasses of wine were drank, and he referred to them as that, and they all thought it was funny.
That's great. I hope it is something like that because that's a great story. And we're getting a lot of those from you at 206-421-ROCK, and you can text us at 77999, all part of Seattle Rock Day. And if you go to KISW.com, you're going to see some awesome pictures that photographer Karen Mason Blair took when Seattle scene was blowing up. Matter of fact, aren't you in one of her books, Steve?
In her Flannel Years book, which is pretty cool. It's a picture of me holding a picture of me shaking the hand of Dave Grohl, which was kind of a fun Seattle experience, getting to spend time and get to meet Dave Grohl, which was awesome. And there's a great video montage on Facebook right now, on KSW's Facebook, of Karen Mason Blair's pictures, all the pictures that she took set to the music of Mother Love Bone.
And she was a friend to a lot of those bands, which is how she got to be so up close and personal, get some of those pictures. And, man, she was talking about some pics she had, including, we did an interview with her recently where she talked about some pictures from Pearl Jam's first ever show and her being at that show.
Jeff, called me 3 days before they played the off-ramp, and he's like, Karen, come out and see my new band. And I was like, okay. And I mean, we are still pretty sad about, Andrew, and so you walk in and, they're saying, oh, we got this new singer, and you're like, okay. And you're just sitting there going, oh, please, we don't want this guy to suck, because you don't want to say, hey, I don't like your new singer. And then when Eddie gets up there and starts singing, you're just like mind blown. First time you've ever heard it live, you ever heard, and you're just like, what the what? And it was mind blowing, totally.
You talk about big shoes to fill, Steve. I mean, not everybody from, Mother Love Bone went over to Pearl Jam, but still the idea that Andy Wood was a beloved figure here, that anybody that would be singing with some of the people from his old band in any way, shape, or form, it was still a huge mourning period. Yeah. And a lot of pressure. Yeah.
I remember watching, there was like a Mother Love Bone documentary. It was on I have it on VHS. I still have it somewhere in my house. And they eventually put it out elsewhere. I think it was called like the Love Bone Earth Affair. And there's parts of the interviews talking about after Andy passed, like they talked to Jeff and Stone, and they're just like, you could tell, like, they're just like, we don't know if we want to keep doing this music thing. We put all of our heart and soul into music, and then this happened, and now we're crushed. And so it's cool to see, then they eventually put together this band that becomes Pearl Jam. And I got to imagine for them, it was like, a sense of a way to be able to like move on after losing somebody so important to them. Like, you had to do something. You can't just sit and be in a room and just like give up music. So I don't know, like, it's just kind of cool to see what they've become. And I mean, I'm such a huge Pearl Jam fan, but I would love to have heard more Mother Love Bone songs as well. It's such a bittersweet thing.
All day today, we are celebrating the music of the Northwest as it is Seattle Rock Day. Call us at 206-421-ROCK or text us at 77999. Share your favorite stories about the Seattle music scene. We've got the Posies now on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Everything is better electrified. Like the guitar, toothbrushes, or cars. And Hyundai has the widest range of electrified vehicles on the market, including the first ever Tucson and Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EVs. You can use electric when you want it or gas when you need it. It's your journey. Evolve it beyond the pump in the 2022 Tucson or Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EVs. Visit your nearest Hyundai dealer or learn more at HyundaiUSA.com. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle.
And BJ, all day today is Seattle Rock Day. We're celebrating the music of the Northwest, also helping raise money for SMASH, which is Seattle musicians' access to sustainable health care. We have a goal of $10,000 raised today. So far, we're at about $4,300, and our next guest is not only a part of SMASH, but she also fronts a killer band called Bear Axe. Please welcome to the show, Shayna Shepherd.
Hi, Shayna. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Nice to talk with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. So, Shayna, my gosh, I mean, you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot, and now you're doing a lot. And now you're doing a lot for other people. How did you get involved with SMASH?
Oh, my gosh. I have such a beautiful, incredible story of being part of SMASH. I got swept up in their performance, their Neil Young benefit 2 years ago at the Moore Theater. As a part of Bear Axe, and I got to perform with all of my heroes at the Moore, so that was great. Through that, I kind of discovered the organization SMASH and got re-involved this year for their virtual showcase. Got to perform with one of my idols and now friend, Duff McKagan, and after that, I mean, I just was like, it just provided me so much like love and purpose throughout this quarantine that I just had to continue to be involved. I mean, it's a great organization.
And I mean, everything is just happening. Awesome stuff is happening for you. I know I saw that you're working on, was it a solo record on vinyl?
Oh, yeah. I just released my first little 7-inch. I'm really excited about it. But yeah, I got my first solo record. It's just so, during the quarantine, you got to stay busy. And now it's in vinyl.
And then you're also performing with Kim Thale for the Mopop celebration of Alice in Chains music. And you guys, oh my gosh, you did such a great version of one of my all-time favorite Alice in Chains songs. It Ain't Like That. That had to have been surreal.
Oh, yo, man, thank you so much. It was. Just imagine little old me in the rehearsal space with Kim Thale, like, working on guitar parts. I mean, come on. That was insane. But he's just, like, the sweetest person ever. I mean, every story over decades of people who've worked with him artistically are all true. That guy is a wonder in his heart and his mind and his talent. It was really, really fabulous.
How'd you get hooked up with that?
I met Kim through SMASH at the first time I did the Neil Young event at Moore. And he reached out and was like, hey, you want to sing on this song? I'm like, yep, sir.
Well, Shayna, if anyone's ever heard you sing, I don't think it's that much of a stretch at all for them to go, hey, let's get this person because she kills it. And not just the voice. Watching some of the videos and seeing you on stage, Shayna, you have got some presence. My gosh, I watched that video you did with Duff. A Change Is Going to Come. What a beautiful rendition of that song, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, I grew up listening to that song with my parents and everything. And then, I grew up listening to Soundgarden and Kim and Duff, too. So those are two tandem parts of my life that kind of just met and fused into one moment. And luckily, SMASH was there to capture it.
And, and Shana, of course, and we're talking about Seattle Rock Day. I mean, we're celebrating the great music of the Pacific Northwest. And so, of course, you're here. We've got to ask you, what are some of your favorite memories? What does this Seattle music scene mean to you?
This is everything to me, man. Seattle music is my whole life, man. Like, truly. I mean, I grew up all over the place, and this was the first spot that I felt like was home. I found my little sense of self at the old clubs, going to rock shows and, house shows, and not even creating friendships, but just listening to people just wail on guitars and be upset. I was like, yeah, I feel upset too. So, and now it's become this thing where as I put more projects out and put my heart out there, and I get to connect with even more people that are like-minded as me and find purpose and in the scene and creating and supporting other people's creations. Like, this is literally my whole life. It's Seattle music now.
Yeah, I feel you on that, though. I think about, like, we were talking earlier, just like, growing up, I grew up, fell in love with, like, hair metal, like watching Headbangers Ball. And then I remember they played like Soundgarden and then like Alice in Chains and just thinking, wow, these bands are way more relatable than, the Poisons and the Warrants of the world. It's just like they're speaking about stuff that I could actually connect to. And like, you summed it up great, like, singing about being upset. And that's truly what a lot of the Seattle bands were doing.
Right? I mean, I think that's the most creative place in the world to me, this little wonderland here. This place where people have been able to just slip into metaphor with their music and then bring it out, make everybody connect with these crazy metaphors. I mean, that was really the best part of the grunge movement here. Just like the lyricism and how that can kind of connect it with just the reverberation of your bones when you go into a live show. And yeah.
And Shana, watching your performances, man, there's a lot that needs to be done in this world. There's a lot of messaging that needs to be gotten out there. And somehow, some way, the way you deliver it, the way you put it out there, it just goes beyond anything and right to the heart. It's a rare gift when somebody can just basically take that laser beam with their performance and throw it right to the heart. It's hard for me not to buy whatever it is you're selling. You could sell me anything, which we so need right now. You know what I mean? We need to be able to reach people in an empathetic and really profound way so that there's no divisiveness, but people can go, oh, I get it. There needs to be some fixing of stuff. Well, I want to fix stuff. I mean, I want to get along. And somehow you do that with your performances.
Oh, man, I really appreciate that. I mean, it just comes from a real place like any other artist, when people are moved, it's because it's a little bit real, I mean, that's the thing about this organization that we're, Seattle Rock in general is just like, it's so important that these times are incredibly divisive because there's so much fear and just unknown about what's going on. And this is that time where we have to really challenge our humanity and also look at how to take care of ourselves and our homes. And, the arts and creatives have always been the people in that place that are able to connect people with like what's going on in the heart and what's going on in the head. And so that's why it's more important than ever to take care of our artists so we can keep telling our stories.
And people can help out by donating money to Smash right now. And like we said, we have this goal of $10,000. I feel like we're going to crush it today. And we have we got some great auction items that are available at KSW.com, from autographed Pearl Jam posters to a Mudhoney skateboard, which is pretty damn awesome. And Shin, I got to say, like, I think if people haven't heard Bear Axe, I highly recommend them checking out. What turned me on to you guys was the Band in Seattle performance that was on that television show. And I was just like, what in the hell is going on? There was just some serious intensity. And then I fell in love with Last Call, your EP. I was just curious. Hey, people should check out Bear Axe. Do you guys have plans of putting out some more music in the near future?
It's going to be a grip, I think.
Yeah.
It's going to be a grip. Yeah, it's, these times itself, it's got to be, it's hard for everybody to kind of calibrate what a release will look like, right? The most important thing, I think, is for artists, including us, to just make sure that we're taking care of ourselves so that we can keep writing throughout the rest of our careers.
It's hard to put out music when you can't play those songs live, too.
Right, and that's why this whole Smash thing is just really important. I mean, there's so many of my friends that have never had access to have mental health care, had access to dental care, had access to kind of preventative care to make sure that our bodies are able to do the hard road work of a musician. And like now there's that accessibility where we can really take this time to, just like everybody else, take that time to really regrow, regroup, take care of ourselves so that our living can continue to thrive and help other people.
Thank you for mentioning the mental health aspect, Shana, because it is so huge in the world of artists. I mean, artists are wonderful, beautiful people that do so much to change the world. And a lot of times those very same artists are just going through so much when it comes to mental health that nobody knows about. And the more people speak about it, and you're right, we got to get anybody that needs mental health help, because it is tragic when that doesn't happen.
Absolutely. I mean, so many of our famous and beloved Seattle staples like Nirvana. There's so many. I don't even want to start naming names because it's not a contest about the impact of artists. But I know so many artists have had to battle their mental health. Who knows how many records we would still be getting if there were more organizations like this that are taking care of this work. So we're making an impact one day at a time.
Shana, can I ask you a stupid question?
I love stupid questions.
Okay, good.
My favorite.
So here it is, the Mopop thing. You're performing with Kim. You're doing It Ain't Like That. Are you nervous knowing that the members of Alice in Chains are going to see this? You know, and like that would get in my head.
No, I was not nervous about that.
No.
No, because I've been listening to my whole life, man. I put my heart. I mean, I'm not going. When I went in there to sing that song, I wasn't thinking I want to be Shana Shepherd right now and show everybody who I am. Like, not for that artist. No, I'm like, I know Lane Staley's voice, and I'm gonna do him proud. I'm gonna do his memory proud. And I felt confident that I could do that because I had the confidence of my teammates of that day, my other band members, Kim and Bubba and Nate and everybody. That they guided me. You know, that's the power of a band in the moment. You know, I felt fine with it.
Oh, so great! Yeah, that's so awesome.
Oh, there's Shana. Just another thing that's impressive about you. That confidence. I mean, Steve is right. I think I probably would have needed 3 changes of pants at that point. You know, if I had to be up there doing what you were doing, and just an amazing talent. And thank you so much for donating your time, your love, your heart to Smash. Thank you for everything you bring to the Seattle music scene and to art in general, because you are a beacon, and you are getting it done. There's no doubt about it that you are making a change. You say the change is going to come, and you are a big part of why that change is coming, Shana. And we're so happy to have you in the Seattle music community.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for all the work that you guys do, KSW. Like, I've been listening to y'all since day one, and you still make space for the local arts scene while celebrating the greats. And, you know, we all have work to do, and we're doing it. High five, bro.
check out Shana Shepherd. Check out Bear Axe. Check out anything with her name on it. Check out, lots of great videos online. Bear Axe, an awesome band. Shana, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. An honor. Take care.
Today is Seattle Rock Day, and we're doing a special Seattle Rock Day version of Listeners on the Loose. And quite frankly, we've been doing it all morning long, really. We've been taking your calls, taking your stories, taking your texts, 206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999. What are some of your favorite stories? What do you love about the Seattle music scene? We got Alice in Chains on the Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on the Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. Listeners on the Loose, brought to you by Whole Foods. And this is where we're talking Seattle Rock Day style Listeners on the Loose, where basically whatever you want to talk about involving the Seattle music scene, your favorite memories, 206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999.
I believe do we have any phone calls?
Oh, as a matter of fact, we do.
Look at that.
And,
the Rockaholics are stepping up. Huge, BJ. Also, if you're on social media, hashtag Seattle Rock Day. Let's get that trending.
All right, Triton and Shoreline, you are on the Rock.
Hey, guys. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Triton. What do you got for us about the Seattle music scene?
Well, it's a little town called Raymond, Washington.
Oh, yeah.
With 17 Nussbaum Road, the Nirvana, Kurt Cobain playing their first live show there. It was actually a house party that my dad and his 2 buddies threw.
Is this the one? I think I saw footage. I don't know if it was their very first show, if it was just like on some Nirvana video documentary piece I saw where Kurt's just basically staring at the wall while performing.
Yeah, basically, it's 17 Nussbaum Road is the address of the house that they played in Raymond. It was my dad and his buddies were having a party and wanted some music, so they knew these guys from Hoquiam, Aberdeen area, and had them come down, play a show.
That's
Ended
insane.
up jamming with them while they were there.
Wow.
It's just insane to think like where they were at that point to then what they became. Because I mean, at that point, you're probably like, they're just some like, another one of these crazy punk rock bands.
Yeah, that's exactly what they thought too. They had no idea who they were really, and then eventually they blew up, and it was kind of a shock.
That is the boy, man, and that is something, man. When you go, hey, you never guess who played in my living room,
right?
Man, 206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999. It is Seattle Rock Day. We're getting your favorite memories. Let's go to Johnny in Edmonds. Johnny, you are on the Rock.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Johnny, what you got for us, buddy?
Okay, I'm a transplant from Oklahoma. I moved here in 1990, but in 1992 I hired on with Elliott Bay Hardwood Floors, not knowing the owner was a drummer of a band called Freedom. So in 1992, he had asked me to come down to OK Hotel and start videotaping him while he was jamming. So we also had Alice in Chains and whatnot, and all the great Seattle sounds. And in 93, my daughter was born. I was doing Robert Lang Studios, and from there we were going to London Bridges Studios to do their hardwood floors. So Candlebox was in the studios on a Friday. My mom was coming up from Oklahoma on a Monday, and we had asked them if they would flip schedules with us. And, you know, being a rock band grunge, I wasn't expecting them to be as nice as they were. But they said, yeah, sure, no problem. And I was like, oh, my God, thank you. So I got that floor done. And from there, I mean, we went to Rock Candy. You guys haven't mentioned Rock Candy.
Oh, what a great venue.
Musical. Oh, Dirt, the owner, we ended up doing his hardwood floors, and Bobby Ross was there while I was filming, and we did Bobby Ross's hardwood floors. And
that's amazing.
Music sound. And, well, Candlebox, they moved up to Queen Anne, and we did their hardwood floors, and Arnold Sapsowitz, he became Bamboo Records. I think I brought in a CD and gave it to Steve.
Is this Johnny?
Johnny Brown.
Johnny Brown. Johnny Brown does great hardwood floors. I've seen his hardwood floors, and they're incredible.
Yes, sir. I did a radius at Andy Savage's.
Yeah, you did Andy Savage's hardwood floors. I remember that.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I was like, wait, this voice sounds familiar, and the guy who you sound like does hardwood floors. It's Johnny Brown.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And,
not surprised you did Andy's hardwood floors, by the way.
Yes.
If you did anything and you met Andy, you were doing it for Andy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was high maintenance. Either way you sliced it. But, Steve, you remember that family that lived next to you in that cul-de-sac that had all the kids
in Linwood? Yeah.
Yeah, and the little boy you almost ran over riding his little car. That kid has grown up and is a hockey player.
Awesome. That's great. I'm glad I didn't run him over fully.
See, that's Steve. You inspired him. You know, if you can get out of the way, if you can be mobile and avoid vehicles, you're going to be really good in the nets, my friend.
That's true.
You'll be good skating.
I taught him reaction.
Yeah, I like that Johnny is the 6 degrees of separation.
Of hardwood floors.
Yeah, for anybody. That's how you're connected, is through Johnny.
He does nice hardwood floors. I give him that.
206-421-ROCK, Texas at 77999. It is Seattle Rock Day. And let's go to Sean in Gig Harbor. Sean, you are on the Rock.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Sean. What's your memory of the old scene?
Well, BJ, I'm an old guy like you. I'm going to be 59 years old here pretty soon.
Congratulations, my friend. Welcome to the Creaky Club. Welcome to the Creek Club.
I've made it that long, but I grew up in South King County. I live out in Gig Harbor and stuff now, but when I was growing up out there, me and my buddies, we were kind of the guys that always threw the parties, and I was the guy collecting $3 for the Click Keg Cup when you got in.
Nice.
And I had these friends of mine, and their parents would go on vacation and say, here's a bunch of money, don't spend it, we'll be back in 3 months. That was pretty stupid, but we would throw ragers, I mean, big parties, and we would have this band come out, which was a bunch of guys that I knew, and anyway, they were called Tyrant, and the singer for Tyrant was Jeff Tate. So the summer of 78 through 1979, when I joined the Navy, I threw all these parties, and Tyrant would play at my parties. And it was Jeff Tate and these other guys. One of them was named Adam Brenner. He changed his name to Adam Baum and moved to Europe. But I just had to call in because I was listening to some of the stuff that you guys were talking about, and it was just a lot of fun. And I also grew up with a guy named Corey McMullen, and his brother was Tommy. and he changed his name to Tommy Gunn. He was the guitar player for War Babies, and I grew up with those guys, and the Seattle music scene's just always been super spectacular. And I don't know, I just heard you guys talking about this stuff this morning, and I had to kind of chime in. And
oh yeah, I mean, Sean, that's pretty wild. You got Jeff Tate playing your house parties. I mean, really. That again, who knew, right? At the time, one of the best voices in rock, there he is in your living room.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Dude, some of the texts are just really cool. One person I saw Pearl Jam in concert. I've seen him about 6 to 8 times, but it was a Death Cab for Cutie concert where Eddie Vedder came out on stage as a guest and chills came down my spine. It was electric, and it was at the Paramount. Dude, Eddie's just I had so many weird memories of just Eddie Vedder just showing up. One time seeing a secret show with REM where he decided to be, and it was at the Crocodile, like 200 people there, REM at the height of their success. And Eddie Vedder just decides, I'm going to be the cocktail waiter for REM throughout their set, and kept bringing them drinks on stage, but also drinking himself. So he was getting wasted. And then they try and play Better Man by Pearl Jam. They didn't really finish it. And then they bust into It's the End of the World as We Know It, and I Feel Fine. And Eddie goes on stage and drunkenly gets through the lyrics, which was just awesome because that song is just a mouthful. And then you got a slurring Eddie Vedder up there, and it was great. And then there's another time we saw the Kings of Leon over at the Moore Theater, and all of a sudden this random guy, trucker cap, beard, comes on stage and starts singing one of their songs. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then start focusing in. I'm like, oh crap, that's Eddie Vedder. Just walked on stage, unassuming. At first you thought, like, who's this random guy just singing along with them? And then you're like, that voice sounds familiar. That guy looks familiar. And it's like, you didn't expect Eddie Vedder just to be there.
Yeah. Those are some of the treats, Steve, that I've heard you talk about. That just like it's so cool to be around. You just never know when Eddie is just going to say, "Hi, I'm going to go on stage now," or "Here's a drink."
A lot of people talk about dropping the park, the Pearl Jam show, which we forget. One person said Cypress Hill was there as well. It was a crazy day. It was just such a great, interesting show.
206-421-ROCK, text us at 77999. Today is Seattle Rock Day, and of course we are raising money for Smash to be able to get musicians to get the healthcare, affordable healthcare that they need. So make sure you go to KISW.com, click on Seattle Rock Day, and then you're going to see a donate button. Whatever you can, man, because these folks have done so much for our life, and we want to make sure they're okay.
And a big thanks to not only Shayna Shepherd earlier talking about Smash, but Bruce Fairweather, him and his wife Steph, they're a big part of Smash as well, and a lot of people are showing a lot of love for Bruce's old band, Mother Love Bone. Bruce was the guitarist, and one person even said, I can't believe I've never even heard Mother Love Bone until this morning. Great music. I'm 21 years old, grew up on awesome bands from the 60s on up, but I'm going to have to tell my dad he failed me.
It really, I mean, look, we probably wouldn't have had Pearl Jam, or at least it would have been later, but who knows what they could, who knows where they could have been. It is... It's tragic, but at the same time, I mean, man, it's also beautiful that we have what we have.
And thanks to Pearl Jam, I think a lot of people have now learned about Mother Love Bone. And also thanks to Temple of the Dog. Temple of the Dog was a giant tribute to Andrew Wood.
Yeah.
I mean, that was Chris's way of paying tribute to him, and then bringing, a couple of the Pearl Jam guys, which was Stone and Jeff, to do something musically to help them, grieve the loss of their old bandmate. And then it became, then they got Ed to be a part of it, and Ed became a member of Pearl Jam, and the rest is history.
Yeah, and and I never got to see Andy, but man, everything that I have heard, everything that I've read was he was an amazing lead man. He was an amazing singer.
Oh, they would tell stories of like he would play at like the Central Tavern or somewhere random in like Pioneer Square where there's like maybe 100 people there, but he was treating it like it was a stadium show and just talking and being that larger than life front man. I've had some buddies tell me that they've been at some of those shows, and like there's some great bootleg footage up on YouTube, like of them playing at like a skate place in Kent. I think the old skate, like the old roller dirt, I don't know, skate ring.
Is it Skate King?
Skate King, I think. Yeah, Skate King, and it's just crazy to hear and watch the videos of them just, they're just this local band just playing their show.
And him just like, this is an arena, which, you gotta love that mindset, because what a show it is to have somebody treat you like, what, this is as big of any show as anyone could ever do. Man, that's awesome.
Oh, it's because in that bootleg, it's so funny because I'm watching it and then he's in the front and, it seemed very popular with the ladies because of, he's a handsome guy and they're awesome rock band. And as he's singing, because there's like really no barrier between the fans and the band. there's this woman who's like just grabbing his leg the whole time. He's still singing, being a rock star. Then at some point, she just works her hand up and just starts working her way to his crotch area.
Oh,
and I'm like, how's this going to go? And he just like kind of like just slyly starts walking away from this woman. Probably like, yeah, it's getting a little too intimate right now with this one person in the front.
Oh, man. It is Seattle Rock Day, and we are going to be celebrating this all day long. And again, if you can make any donation, it would be awesome. Go to KISW.com. You can donate to SMASH, which, of course, helps Seattle musicians get the health care that they need. And and also, look, all day long, we're going to be doing this. As a matter of fact, we're going to be catching up with Ryan Castle, and you'll get to hear his favorite stories about the Seattle music scene. We'll do that about at 9:50. And we've been talking about Seattle Rock Day. And a lot of the great Pacific Northwest artists, I didn't know this, and I wonder if you knew this. Kenny Loggins is from the Northwest. Yeah, and that's why we're going to throw you some Danger Zone on Seattle Rock Day.
Awesome.
On The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Okay, that brought me back.
Are you in Kenny Loggins is the second coolest person you know from Everett, Washington.
Oh, really? Who's the coolest?
Ryan.
That's me, BJ.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I knew I remember.
Do you even have to ask?
Come on.
Well, what are you going to do? Yes. Yeah, no doubt about it. Everett has produced some amazing people. And, hey, Ryan, look, I don't know if you know this, being the drunk in charge, but we're dedicating the whole day to Seattle Rock. I don't know if you know this.
I have heard. I turned on the radio this morning, and to my surprise, it was Seattle Rock Day. I had no idea.
Since you're running the place, we probably should have got your permission. But
I put Taryn in charge of all of that stuff now. I'm just a figurehead. That's what happens when you graduate to this level.
Yes, you know what? I always knew you'd be a great figurehead, and actually, probably Taryn is the right person to let, really do the heavy lifting around here. Yeah.
Real.
Yeah, that's a fact. So how about you, man? I mean, we got a little quick time, but Seattle Rock, your favorite memories? You grew up here, obviously. You grew up in the whole area.
Dude, I had to go through a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I have a zillion of these things, from doing radio shows with Duff and Sean Kenny to playing football with Pearl Jam, going out to the Gorge. Yeah. That weekend we spent at the Gorge for Pain in the Grass was amazing, and seeing my favorite band in my favorite place. But really, it goes back to 1996. Jolene and I were working together at our first radio job in Yakima, Washington, and we drove over here for a Pearl Jam show at Key Arena. And it is still one of the best shows I've ever been to in my life, that Pearl Jam show, Key Arena in 96. And it was so good that when they played Yellow Ledbetter at the end of the show, Jolene, open mouth, ugly cried.
I'm sure she's glad you're sharing that.
It was that good.
Ryan Castle, he has got more stories, more great music as we're celebrating Seattle Rock Day all day long here on The Rock.
BJ and Migs play of the day.
I mean, at one point, Alice in Chains, they were more of like a hair metal type band when they first started. Mickey's showing you a picture of it right now.
I know that is so wild. They are 80s, baby.
That is so much hair. A lot of hair.
I mean, look, they look good. I'm not going to say they don't look good, but it's just, it is insane, the transformation that happened.
Hope they bought stock in Aquanet.
Yeah, I wonder how much hairspray it takes to get your hair that high.
Oh, man.
Yeah, all of it. An entire can.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. Here's another question from a listener. I have a mountain of credit card bills and consumer debt. Can I still keep my house if I file bankruptcy?
Yes, you almost always can keep your home and your house, your car in a bankruptcy. Depending on what type of bankruptcy you file, would depend on whether or not, for example, you can keep your vehicles if you have payments on them still. You can almost always keep your home if you're current on the payments on your home, even in full bankruptcy. In Chapter 13, you can also keep those items. If you're behind on your house, you could catch your house payments up in a Chapter 13, take off a second mortgage in a Chapter 13. So keeping your primary assets like a home and car is almost always possible in bankruptcy.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. And thanks for listening.